honest, I didn't really prepare what I'd like to say in this video because I wanted this to be an honest conversation and my genuine story. I don't want to paint a picture of something that is not true, and I just want to be able to come here and just be honest about my experience. So, in my opinion, in short, I feel that being a lawyer was worth it for me. I haven't really practiced law before, and this is my first time actually practicing as a lawyer. So that part I feel like was worth it. It is very rewarding being able to make a difference in people's lives, and it feels good at the end of the day. However, I still feel like there are many compromises that I had made in order to be here, and I'm not sure if all of those compromises were worth it. I'm not saying that you don't have to make compromises in order to achieve something in life. You have to work hard and you have to put your soul into it. But at the same time, if you're somebody who's looking to become a lawyer here, I want you to understand and learn from the compromises that I had made, and maybe you can deal with it in a different way, or maybe I don't know, just know that people have a hard time becoming a lawyer in Canada. I'd like to point out is that I feel that this process was very, very stressful. There are a lot of deadlines, a lot of exams, and there's a lot at stake. So, for instance, if you're spending a lot of money on writing these exams, and if you don't pass these exams, then you have to pay again and pay more and then study more, and then you just have to keep studying and writing a lot of different exams. So, this process is very stressful because there are different deadlines. So, for instance, once you start writing your NCA exams, you need to finish the NCA exams, for instance, in a particular month or a particular time of the year so you can enroll in the Law Society and then write the licensing exams. So there are a lot of deadlines that you need to make sure that you understand. And if you miss those deadlines, the consequences can be bad because you might have to wait another 4 to 6 months in order to maybe enroll for another exam, or I don't know, find articling or enroll in the LPP program. So I felt like I was always just stressed out. Either I had to study, or I had to make sure that I am finding articling, or I am preparing for the bar exams, and then what is going to happen after that. And so it was very stressful, and I understand that I'm not saying that this profession is the only profession that's stressful, but I felt like I was losing my mind a lot of times. But I did it, and people do it. It's doable, but just keep in mind: are you willing to take all of that stress? Because not everybody wants to be stressed out all the time, or not everybody wants to be in a position where there's just always, there's so much pressure on you. So, you know, I think that I worked hard, and I worked really hard for where I am today. But now when I look back at it, I feel like, why did I have to take that much stress, and why? Maybe there are other ways of handling stress. I don't know. But just remember that if you are somebody who's looking to be a part of this journey, and if you're already in the journey, I hear you. I think it's hard, and it's just hard. Second point that I'd like to discuss is that this process takes a lot of your time. So for me, I did my LLM in the beginning, which I didn't use for my NCA requirements. Um, I really enjoyed doing the LLM. That was a lot of fun. I met so many people, and the courses were not that hard. Because it was in school, and then sometimes my assessments would be writing a research paper, or sometimes it would be an in-class exam. But I felt like the exams were not that hard as compared to the NCA exams, and then the bar exam. So, I had spent almost 4 years, 4 to 5 years, in this entire process, the LLM and the NCAs and the bar exams, and then sometimes people do it really fast, but I took my time, and sometimes I feel that I missed out on a lot of other things in life. You can't stop living at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing. And this is particularly for somebody who probably moved here probably moved here when they start their NCA exams, I felt like I missed out on a lot of things from my hometown. For instance, a lot of my friends, my family got married, and I wasn't a part of it, and I missed out on a lot of small things that I wish I was a part of because I was busy studying or writing exams or finding work or something like that. But I guess that's a compromise that you make when you are an immigrant at the end of the day. But I just want you to keep in mind that when you are in the process, just make sure that you don't stop living, because you know you'll realize that the time that you're investing in studying right now, you're gonna have to invest it in a job after that, and then in something else after that. So you can't really just focus on just just one thing. I mean, you should. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be focused, but at the same time, you should also maybe try and balance it out. For me, I felt like I just spent a lot of time just worrying and just focusing on one thing, and I mean, it all worked out in the end, and I'm really happy where I am. But when I look back at it, maybe I wish that I had maybe traveled a little bit more, or maybe just did things what I really wanted to, rather than worrying about studying or just overthinking stuff. So if you're in the process, just remember that being able to live is also something that you should be focusing on, and not just putting everything in your life on hold. I guess that's what I did. I'm not saying it's bad, it got me here, but I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. Last point that I want to talk about is that not everyone will land their dream job. Not everyone is going to get a position or work in an organization that they really wanted to. So, in that sense, when I was a student, I had this idea in my head of what a successful lawyer is going to look like. And that idea just came from nowhere. I had just imagined it in my head. And so if you do that, that just causes negative energy, because you might not be able to land where your head or your idea is telling you to land. And again, you can set goals. You can say that this is where I'd like to be, but you can't really just put this undue and unnecessary pressure on yourself to do something that you might just not be able to achieve. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how hard you try, no matter whatever you do, you might not be able to land that dream job, or you might not be able to do something that you really wanted to do. You might be practicing a different area just because at the time that area, there are more lawyers needed in that particular area. So you don't really know what's going to happen. So if you have that idea in your head and you don't get that particular job or whatever, or whatever it is, you might think that, oh, well, why did I do all of this for? So certainly not a good idea to just think and just set your mind on very specific things. Well, you can just be open and just have an open mind when you come to this profession, because the profession is very different than what I had imagined it to be, and it's a lot of work, but it's rewarding, and it's good. It feels good at the end of the day, and not everyone has the opportunity, or not everyone can call themselves a lawyer in Canada. So that's something that I feel like is a privilege, because not you're able to, you have a license to actually make a difference in people's lives. So you know that's something that should be, not should be, I guess what I'm trying to say is that's something that I feel really strongly about, because if you have preconceived judgments about the profession, it just doesn't work out at the end of the day. So for me, you know, like I said, I think that being a lawyer was worth it. Some of the compromises that I made, I'm not sure if I needed to do it in that way. Maybe I could have done it in a different way, but certainly these are the compromises that I felt were most important to me. And I made those compromises, and I'm glad I did. I'm not saying that I didn't. I'm not saying that it's not worth it, but sometimes you think about it, and you feel like you could have done a lot of other things as well. So if you are somebody who's looking to be a part of it, just remember that these might be some of the issues that you will face, but just remember that you don't need to just break your back, or I don't know, just overthink things. Things happen. You you will pass, you will get a job, you will get where you need to be. And at the end of the day, being successful is not about what other people think or what the society thinks. It's about what you think is successful for you. So for you, you might just want to become a lawyer and start your own practice. Maybe that's successful to you. Or you might not even want to become a lawyer, or you do the degree and then you want to work in policy. So there's no set, nothing is set in stone. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I don't want to paint a picture and pretend like it's all butterflies and it's just the best thing ever. It is hard, it is stressful, it is sometimes you will feel like, I don't know why I did this, but sometimes you'll be like, oh wow, I'm glad I did this. So it's a part of being in this profession, and I wish you good luck if you are somebody who's thinking about starting this journey, and if you're actually in this journey, because it just shows that you're willing to put in the effort and you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and make a difference in people's lives.